Hello, I'm Mark Kaiser of Central Maryland Sunrooms, and in this video we're going to demonstrate how to properly install your vertical 4-track windows. So the first thing you'll need is your silicone. This will be applied to the perimeter of your flange to set your window in. You'll need your drill. We talked about this in the overview. You want to use a drill instead of an impact so you don't mar your screws for the paint. You'll need your screw pack. So this will be colored screws to match your windows. We will need our pry bar to adjust our windows properly, and we will show you how to do that. And lastly, you'll need a knife to cut the excess screening after you get your installation finished. All right, so now grab your silicone, load it in your caulking gun. We will run a nice 1/4-inch bead around the perimeter of your window, catching the sides, top, and bottom. At this point, now is when you need multiple people to do your installation. Typically on a window of this size, 2 people can manage to install without a problem. But when you get to your wider windows of say 6 or 8 feet, possibly up to 12, because we do have windows that are 12 foot wide, you will need multiple people to help install. So now for this demonstration, we're going to bring in Mike. He's going to go in the outside of the window. So we're going to hand our window through our opening as such. And he's going to set it into the opening, flange against the frame as we showed earlier. So now that our window is in our opening, we're going to want to use our pry bar to space it into our opening, equally spaced on each side. At this point, we're going to pull our vents down just a slight bit to check our reveal at the top and bottom. So we want our reveal on each side to be equal. So at that point, we will adjust the window. If your sill is not level, we will need to wedge one side or the other to make it properly level. So at that point, once we have our spacing proper where we want, we will have Mike put a screw in the bottom corner. We have our screw in the corner, we'll hit the other corner. At this point now we'll reach to the top, space up our window to make sure that we are in our opening nice and square and plumb. Okay, now Mike will run another screw in the top. Catch the other top corner. So now that we have our window secured in our opening, we want to open our window, and we discover that they will not stay in place, so now we need to adjust the middles properly to make them secure. So we will close all the vents. When we're installing our screws, we're using each panel as our guide for our screws. Now you want to take your pry bar that we talked about earlier, you want to insert it into the side of your window frame, and we will slightly compress the window frame to tighten it up. And at this point, Mike will run his screw. Okay, now we will come to the opposite side of the window, and we will do the same thing. We will insert our bar into the side of the window, and Mike will run his screw. So now we will come to our window panels, we will bring them up, and now you can see we are secured. Now our windows are secure and staying properly where we like. So now we bring our windows back down. So now we have our panels down. We will use the other 2 spreader bars as our guide. We will compress it just a little. Mike will run a screw. We'll come to the other side, run screw. We'll come down to the bottom panels, same thing, slightly compress. The other side, slightly compress. And we also recommend when you're screwing, we put, especially the wider windows, we will put 1 screw directly in the middle above the center spreader bar, top and bottom. Now we want to operate our windows. And as you can see, when they're properly adjusted, we can place them anywhere in the track, and they will stay where we place them. So minor adjustments of compressing the frame to tighten the windows up, or if they are too tight, sometimes you need to take the screws and decompress the window by screwing it out. And that is the installation of your vertical 4-track window.